Okay, well, I'll just I won't introduce you, but just start it off and then hand it over to you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us for our new learning episode with Rebecca Sylvestre. This is part of a series that we do at the Lawson Foundation through the Child and Youth Diabetes Strategy. We'll put a link in the chat. We've got other videos up on the YouTube and our website there that you can watch from the previous sessions. Yeah, I would just encourage everyone to share where you're from in the chat so we can see who's joining us and people can meet each other in a sense. Other than that, I'll let Rebecca introduce herself and away we go. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jeff. That's all I can see is you, so I'm going to be telling you a big, long story this morning. My name is Rebecca Sylvestre. I'm from Turner Lake and Birch Narrows. We have a community that's split in half. One's Hamlet, and we are status on the other side. There's a imagine make-believe wall in between that a lot of us have to deal with every single day of our lives. But at our community food center, we don't have to. I'm the manager of the Turner Lake and Birch Narrows Community Food Center. We have grown since 2017. Our organization started off in a little rundown little building and started looking for funding. We became partners with Community Food Centers Canada. I really thought we were partners from 2018. I didn't know we were, because of the funding that was coming in and the support that was coming in from them. And then just a couple of years later, to find out that you were now a partner of Community Food Centers Canada. And I thought, what? I thought we were always partners. I didn't even know that was happening. But it's a miracle that I'm sitting here because my whole life was a big adventure. I went through a lot of different stages in my life, and to sit here in front of you and actually talk about what I do now and it's just magic to me, I guess. I don't know how I got blessed to be in a position I am to actually help my community. You're going to hear a lot of stories in my videos, and I just want to tell you something. Growing up, a lot of kids wish upon a star. Growing up, I used to wish upon a moose bone because I was always sitting in front of meat or ducks or something and fixing traditional meat. I really hated it growing up because I wanted to be outside with my friends. But as a young mother, I was 13 years old 14 when I had my daughter, and I had to learn all these things on my own. So they could start the video now.
Yes, I'm playing it.
Thank you.
That is Turner Lake and Birch Narrows. We are 4 hours north from Meadow Lake. One of the struggles in the north, keeping your children, is making sure there's a fresh meal on the table, there's food in the fridge. And with the cost up north, you can't afford food. And there's many times that kids go without. So I took the lead on and I started Googling community food centers, and I came across a beautiful group and I studied them, and they were Community Food Centers Canada. They came middle of January, 4 feet of snow, high heels on. They flew into La Loche. I picked them up. They came to my community, sat at my kitchen table, handed me a check for $25,000 and said, that's where we start. The shipping, everything, I guess, every cost. The store has to make money, the taxes, you name it. It's like $12 for a little small tray of strawberries right now, but you can get a bag of nuggets that's unhealthy for like $8. What would you prefer when you can feed your family 2 times, 3 times with the bag of nuggets and once the fresh food? The North went through a severe lockdown. People were coming home because they were so scared of this disease, and our community started growing. There was more people coming home, staying home, and kids were eating more. And our little store, we have a little tiny store in our community, couldn't handle all these people. Like, we were lined up for 4 hours to get into our store. By the time you get to the store, there'll be nothing left on that shelf. You had no fruit to take home to your kids, no fruits, no vegetables, because everybody was grabbing what you can. There was more money coming in, so more stuff were coming off the shelves. Syrup was coming in, everybody was using, everybody is spending. After that's all gone, what about the rest of the people? Our truck doesn't come until the next week again, and you're lucky if you get in line again, the first one in line again. There was people going on quads because they were lacking things at home. They were crossing ice that wasn't safe to get to another community so they can go into the store and purchase something. I mean, they put their lives in danger for this. Unfortunately, you needed a letter from a nurse to get out of your community. They were able to send hunters out, and we got rabbits, we got ducks, we got moose meat, we got caribou. Food came boxed, ready to hand out to somebody. If you were drop it on their steps, they can just take it inside, put it in their freezer. We did fresh fruits, we did milks, we did pastas, we did, you name it, we did every kind of food, everything that was out there. They were able to stay home, they were able to have food at home. Their fridges stayed full, their freezers stayed full, and their kids, they had healthy meals during the pandemic. One Christmas on the pandemic, we were thinking, what can we do for the elders? For the elders, I think it was the scariest part of their lives. They never came out of their homes. What can we do to brighten their lives? I was thinking in my life, in my mind, what can we do to give them excitement? So my dad gave me this huge speaker system. So I decided, okay, I asked my husband, let's put this on top of the car. We hooked up 2 big speakers on top of the car, got our Christmas music going, filled up the car with fresh fruits and vegetables, and we went door to door to door. We had elders coming out, dancing on their steps. Some of them came out and hugged me. I mean, the community lit up that night. And now it's gonna be, and we're gonna keep it going every single year. 2 years ago, we had 3 gardens in our community. We are now up to 63. We have gardens flourishing in the back of people's yards. Elders are growing gardens. They're teaching others to what they grew when they were growing up. It's all coming back. From land to plate, we want to teach that. We want to teach from, you take from the garden, you can cook with everything you take from the garden. You go to the land, how did you bring it home and put it on the kitchen table? Instead of going to the store buying that $12, they're actually growing their own strawberries. We make sure our tradition stays strong. And I want kids to learn I want them to learn how to grow. That's the most important thing, and to hunt, and like I said, from land to plate.
Are we back again?
Yes, Rebecca. Yeah.
Okay. I did that probably a couple of years ago, and I didn't realize how important gardens were going to become in our community and how much people would enjoy it. We have elders now growing potatoes on their decks. We give them baskets and they can grow right from their deck. I just love the part where they're digging out the potatoes and the excitement they get from digging out the fresh potatoes to eat. There's a few elders that join our community food center every single Tuesday and Wednesday, and if I'm ever feeling down and if I'm ever feeling depressed about anything, all I have to do is go sit there for a few hours with them. The joy, the laughter, and everything that they face in their life, it's like it doesn't exist when they're sitting there together. They sit there and they laugh and they just enjoy life. That's one of the best parts of having community food center in our community, is this is a place where we can sit and we can forget about what's happening outside. Our kids come in there and we have Brianne that works as our youth worker, and I don't know how she handles it sometimes, because these kids are running up and down the building, just screaming and yelling with paint all over their hands, and they're cooking in one part of the kitchen, they're cooking, the other one, little babies are screaming all over. It's a place of joy and happiness, and I just so proud of it, what it has become. This year we have 6 camps coming. We're going to learn I'm gonna learn also because I've never built a boat in my life. We're gonna teach our kids how to build a boat, a skiff, and add this to a part of our equipment to take our kids out and hunt and fish. We're gonna teach them the land, how to set a trap. We have how to set traps and how to hopefully build their own trap lines. Our ancestors did that a long time ago, and they're still doing it today. But unfortunately, our community is losing all its hunters. A lot of people don't find it. It's too much work, and life has just gotten so simple today that they just go to the store and grab something. I mean, you can even buy bannock from the store now. Just pour it in a bowl and pour some water, and you have yourself a fresh bannock out of the oven. But I don't want to be that place where we're that simple. I still want to be that place where we learn everything that our ancestors lived off of and how healthy they were, how healthy they strived throughout this this life. I mean, my grandpa used to haul when he used to firefight. I don't know how he did it because he'd put on a backpack with all his stuff and go firefight, and they'd walk miles and miles. And to think about that and think about how much my grandma used to sit there and wait, and she'd have to haul the wood and she'd have to take care of, my grandma had 23 kids, and sometimes he would put her at an island in a tent, and all the things that the strength that they had. I don't know, I think that's where I got it from my grandma and my mom. My mom too has so much strength in her. The diabetes in our community is at a high level right now. I am one that is struggling with it too. I am pre-diabetic. I'm fighting that right now. Just had some health issues, but I have it under control, and I'm starting to get back on my feet again. And I don't want that to be a part of my life because it runs in my family. I just don't know. I don't know sometimes what we're gonna face in this world, but I want to be. I'm going to be that place where we're going to be helping our community, helping surrounding communities, no matter what we have to do. That's a part of me. That's a part of my soul. That's part of my life now. And I've given my life to this place, and I've given my life to our community. I was talking yesterday with an elder, and he was saying, "Why is this so important to you, Rebecca?" He was sitting on my couch here. I said, "I don't know, but it's something that I was raised with. I was always hearing about, we're gonna lose our land one day, my girl. We're gonna lose a bunch of things, and one of these days we might not have anything to feed our families that's healthy anymore. It's gonna come from, I don't know. There was just a lot of stories, I guess. But I don't want that to happen. Not in my lifetime, not in my son's lifetime. I want to know that we have land out there that we can go to and we can go hunt off of. And there's another part of my story that I want to share. It's if not, they can play the other video, please.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Cooking is a very, very important basic need in our lives, and to grow food and to hunt, to be around with elders and to learn from each other. A long time ago, that's what we did. All of our programs that we were doing together in our community were bringing people back together. And right now it's around food, and it's around traditional food.
It brings people out to the community, having a good meal and sitting together telling stories.
A lot of mothers come to me and say they needed help for groceries. They bring in their receipts, and there was nuggets, and there was chips, there's pop, there's a lot of junk. And I looked at the
Sorry about that. It seems you are not able to see the video, so let me replay it once again.
Can see it now, Nyan. Thanks.
Cooking is a very, very important basic need in our lives. And to grow food and to hunt, to be around with elders and just to learn from each other. A long time ago, that's what we did. All of our programs that we're doing together in our community, we're bringing people back together. And right now it's around food and it's around traditional food.
It brings people out to the community, having a good meal and sitting together telling stories.
A lot of mothers come to me and say they needed help for groceries. They bring you their receipts and there was nuggets and there was chips, there's pop, there's a lot of junk. And I looked at that and I thought there's got to be something more that we can do. So I found Community Food Centers Canada somehow by accident, and they partnered with us and decided, okay, let's go, let's get this going. And it was a blessing because we've grown so much. We have classes, we have a building, beautiful building where we teach food and basic needs, and children get to hang out, elders get to hang out, women come and sew and bake together. We give out food. I just dream for better things for our community and our people. That's all I dream for now.
She's the main catalyst behind all of these projects that are going on. Sometimes she just amazes me, you know, especially the way this whole event started and then COVID came around. So she played a major role in that one too, with providing food boxes. I mean, we were literally shut down. They couldn't leave the community. There was a roadblock. So now we had food issues. And that's where my girl kind of got involved. Started with the food baskets, got those in, make sure that people had food, getting involved with other communities, sharing that same vision for the benefit of our people.
I'm thankful for everybody that trusted me, you know, like United Way trusted me too. They gave us money for gardening, they gave us money for programs, they gave us money for food, and it just blended in with all our programs. But I know it did help us really, really lots, especially for our programs and land-based. We did lots of land-based with it.
My daughter came from a domestic situation where she was abused. And when I'm talking about abuse, that's a very light word.
I was an alcoholic for most of my life. I started drinking when I was 13 years old, and I ran away from home when I was 13. So I basically raised myself all my life. I was on the streets in Turnor Lake, and I lived with abusive men. I started drinking severely. I don't remember most of my life because of alcohol. I don't remember my childhood because of alcohol.
Literally, my wife and I, all we could do was throw up our hands and pray. That's all we had.
They never gave up on me because I remember being drunk, sitting there, and my dad would still come in with a moose leg, you know? My dad would still come in with food. He'll just drop it off and walk out. And I so wish I could remember my life, but maybe there's a reason I don't. The alcohol played a big part, and I almost took my life. In 2013, I was drinking that night, and I just sat down and I took so many sleeping pills. I just had enough. In my head, I kept on thinking that I was this person that didn't deserve anything. What am I living for? My kids are not even with me. I'm raising a daughter. Is she gonna live this life of a partiness? I have broken windows and just a party house. It was awful to make her live that life. So I decided I didn't want to live anymore. I popped a whole bunch of pills, and I don't even know how I ended up in the hospital. I just know I woke up in La Loche Hospital and they pumped my stomach out. And I woke up and I remember I looked over and I seen my little daughter, and she was crying with all her heart. So I said, Jada, let's go home. I made it through this. Let's go home, I'm done. And we went home and I told her, I promise I'm done. I'm done drinking now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Because she heard it many times. I've told her I quit many times. And she didn't believe me, but there was something different that time. I told her, let's clean up. We picked up all the boxes, we cleaned up, we made it smell really good. We pulled our bed in the living room and watched movies. And at that night, I knelt down on my knees and I prayed, I need your help now. Oh, I don't know who you are, if you're a creator, if you're a spirit, or whoever you are, my higher power. I don't care who you are, but please, I need your help now because I'm ready to change. And then all of a sudden, the change came faster than I could handle. And the sober came, the off the drugs came, the everything, like it just came real fast. Like it was amazing. 32 years of living with men that called you ugly, that called you dumb, that called you stupid, that beat you to where I am today, where I actually forgave them. I forgave them and I moved on with life. And I don't like talking about that part of my life anymore. I went through so much abuse and I've let it go now.
She had a very rough life, a very hard life. And we did a lot of praying, my wife and I. Maybe about 10 years ago or so, there was a change. She decided to get sober, clean up her act, and it helped her realize who she was as an individual and what she was capable of.
I think when you're out here, it gives you more time to actually open your mind. When you're out here, you can actually breathe. The sleep is different. The temperature is different. Everything's different. I don't know how to explain it. It's healing.
Years ago, I went through a mental issue, through a really dark phase, 20s. So I can understand when people go through that stuff. This is where I came. And I was able to see and hear the creator. And I mean, look around us. I saw the beauty of the creator. It's the beauty of life. My wife and I are going to have a 50th year next year. In family. Have grandchildren. We're blessed. And I'm a blessed man. And I could have lost that because of my addictions. And also, sometimes you felt your life was worthless. I'm glad where I am today. I survived and I have lots to live for. And that's why I want to be able to let the kids know that there's a creator here. He's present. And that's a big part that's missing in our kids today. And they need to be able to come out and be able to sit like this and listen. The sounds, the wind, and everything that's around us, the animals, the birds, right? Life is all around us, You hear it, you see it. Yeah, it's vibrant.
We have a big, huge camp here that we just built this year. The way we're bringing our community together is through our children and our elders and our children. With the more land-based programs we have, the more we're becoming one again.
We have a place where we can bring our children and we can bring our elders because there's a lot of memories here for the elders. This was a traditional campsite years ago. There would be literally tents right across here.
And our kids, when you bring them out here, they're different. They're alive.
It's really important that we hang on to this. So I'm glad these buildings are up. We need to take those things that are going to help our children down the road to be able to survive. And maybe not just survive, but thrive. Society.
We're going to hunt and we're going to show them how to hunt. We showed them how to fish, fix fish. It's bonding and it's bonding with nature and nature is healing.
It's mostly 1 week at a time. We bring out the kids. They go hunting. We even show them how to trap. You look at all these plants around. We show them how to use it. Even a poplar, that's medicine. Even me sitting here, this thing is medicine. For short breath, it's good for asthma. You call this caribou moss. It takes time. Even me sitting here, I'm old. I'm still learning.
We want to teach the kids to observe. The way we learned was They just did it. And we watched. And we watched. And then when they felt you were ready, then they sent, okay, you go. They call it unoccupied ground land. That's a term they use for the land around us. And I hate that word because um, that word is saying that we're not there. We're no longer occupying the land. We're stuck on our little reserve. And that's so far from the truth. We're all over the place. That's important to us because that's our way of life. That's what has been handed down to us. You know, a lot of people don't understand that our food is from the land, and that's part of our food sustainability. We'd rather have moose meat than canned stuff or burger or whatever, right? You know, we get an animal. It's not just for us. It's for the community. It's for people that come knocking on your door and say, may I have some moose meat? And we were taught that to never turn anybody away. Our ancestors welcomed people who came with open arms because that was our culture.
We, as Danny, we seem to work all together. No matter how tough it is, we always help each another. That's how we survive.
Our heart is here. I can't see myself doing anything different, you know.
I used to look in people's windows. I remember walking by and during Christmas or some kind of celebration, I can see them all gathering together. And I remember I used to cry, just wishing that I could have that life, my family all together in my home. And now I do.
One thing I love about her is she's not a talker. She's a mover. She always impresses me that way. She doesn't just sit on the couch and talk about it. She steps out and does it. And she has a heart for families. She's always there trying to help out with those that are in need, especially when it comes to food and hungry children.
I'd like to be a place that feels like there's no judgment, you know? It just a place they can just come and hang out and be welcomed where there's no race. Place where you can just shut that door. And with all the problems that are out there, it's so many things that are happening out there. You could just shut that door and sit with an elder and laugh and play games and everything's forgotten. I want to be that place away from the world. This world is hectic as it is. We don't need it in that place.
That's a big part of my life story. I went through a lot growing up, but I won't call myself a survivor. I think I would call myself I don't know what I'd call myself, a liver, a doer, a goer, because I I love life now. I love it. I love living. I love waking up in the morning, and people dread answering their emails. Oh, I can't. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But I love it. I'm one of those people that if I get an email, I just can't wait to see what it's about. So I'll jump on it and I'll answer it right away. A lot of our sponsors know that because I reply right back. It's one of those things that really bugs me when people don't reply back and they make you sit and wait for a long time. Um, I want to be one of those people that do not do that. I guess I can say what our organizations can do to help our communities now is to be understanding, because a lot of our communities are facing a different pandemic now, and it's now drugs. Alcohol played a huge part in our communities now, and now it's unfortunate that drugs are taking a lot of our people from us. We just lost two young ladies in our community in this past couple of weeks. but we're going to continue fighting, and we're going to keep continuing fighting together, because there's no way in hell that I'm going to give up on my community, and I'm not going to walk away from this ever, because it became a part of my life, a part of my family, a part of my home. My office is at home, so every day I can have hunters going out and they're walking through the doors and they're ready to go caribou hunting, and I'm in a meeting and I keep telling them to keep quiet, but I'm their cook. I have to realize that I'm their cook. I make their bannock, I make their soups, I pack their lunches, I pack their groceries for them to go. It's a part of me. I know that I'm not an employee of the building anymore. I'm the manager, but I just can't step away and say somebody else can do this part. Somebody else can do this part, because it's something that we created, and it has my pride and joy in it now. And I have my foot in every single one of the programs there. I just can't seem to step away. It is a piece of me that I wish I had when I was growing up, I guess, because I wouldn't mind to have a place like that where I can sit down and just sit with an elder and talk and get some advice, and bring my daughter in to go have some fun with her peers, and learn to cook, and learn to be just to be free. We have a big, huge community garden out there in the back, and last year, the last couple of years, it grew, flourished. It was so beautiful and growing really just beautiful potatoes and everything. But last year, we were gone and we were evacuated, and some of the kids stayed behind, and I don't know what happened, but they decided to help us and take the garden out early. So we had buckets of potatoes that were sitting on the side. We had carrots, we had everything. But these kids know that it's a place that they can come and they can just enjoy themselves. And I'm very proud to know that we are one of the 4 Indigenous community food centers across Canada. And I believe when we started, we were one of 3. I just added another one this year. It's something that just came into my life at the perfect time. I used to be a prevention worker for our Birch Narrows Dene Nation, and I'll never forget sitting in that office, and a young mother came in and she said, "Rebecca, I need your help because they're going to take my kids if I don't find a way to feed them." And so I went to the chief and council, and I remember what they told me. They said, "We can give you, tell her that we can give her a voucher for $300, but that's all we can do. We can't do anything else." And I was thinking, well, what is this going to do for her? She's going to go to the store, she's going to shop. There's no learning, there's no growing, there's no absolutely nothing. We're giving her this piece of paper that will only get her a couple bags of groceries. Now we have young moms bringing their babies, and their babies are sticking their fingers in dough, and they're learning to measure. They're learning, the moms are with them and they're spending time with their kids. It's called Mommy and Me program. It's in the evening on Wednesdays, and gosh, it's just flourishing. And I wish we could do this right across our communities, because it's very important, and it's a lot of people are watching us. I have friends on our Facebook page from Anchorage, Alberta to Australia to down south. I don't know, there's so many communities that joined our page, but people are craving this life again. They're craving the traditional and the cultural programs. And I don't want to take responsibility of that. I don't want to be saying it's because of us, but I know we had a little piece of that. I know we had a little piece of to do with that, because across Saskatchewan now, our northern Saskatchewan, there's so many schools going back to the traditional cultural ways. There's so many band offices using their money to do the cultural traditional programs. Our elders are in every single thing that we do now. My elders are the pride of my life. They have taught me what I know today. And even though I was on the streets, even though I was hungry on the streets and looking for something to live for, when I entered into their doors, I was always welcomed. And I was always welcome with a cup of tea and a piece of moose meat or something, and they'd never turn me away. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like me to ask, say?
Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for sharing all that. Very sorry about the losses in your community. Definitely feel for you there. Yeah, if anybody has any questions for Rebecca, you can just unmute yourself and chime in or write it in the chat. Questions or comments?
Everybody's silent. Don't worry, I don't bite.
Oh, Julie Price saying thank you and you're awesome.
Hi, Julie.
Kind of fish do you have up there that we were seeing in the videos?
We have whitefish, pickerel, we have jack, we have trout if we go up further. We have Mariah. Mariah tastes like chicken. If you ever skinned a Mariah with pliers, oh, I did not want to taste Mariah. I dreaded it for all my life. And just this year, an elder said, just try it, Rebecca. I'm telling you. And they look so gross. They look like a snake, right? So I never ate it. I just didn't want to. And when we were peeled it with a screwdriver and on a piece of cardboard, and they fried it up, I'm telling you, it was, I think it tops pickerel for me. I've never, yeah, it tastes like a cheap man's lobster. That's what they call it. What does that say?
Christine's got a question. What makes it challenging to reach new community members to bring them into the community food center?
Most likely lateral violence. Our communities face a lot of lateral violence, and there's still that place like they have the mentality, I'm not poor enough to go and do all this stuff. A lot of our communities, they don't want to they don't trust to join a program anymore, because a program, once it starts, it's going so beautiful, the funding is gone. All of a sudden the funding is gone. There's people that are just getting into the programs, they're all joining, and then it stops, it's gone. And then they don't want to put all their heart and soul into that another program again, because in our communities, it's unfortunate things just get taken away. Look at Jordan's principal, for instance. Our many families were flourishing off this program, and now it's gone. Everything just happens like that in our communities for some reason. So we had to build up that trust in our community that we're not going to be that place that shuts down. That I will fight. We will fight. Well, I have a board members. I keep on saying our board members is our board members. We have 5 of them, and they're fighters along with me too. And we have one that's really quiet. He's our check signer. He likes to stay on his side, but when he is mad, he's pretty loud. So we have 5 of us that are fighters, and I know we'll keep it going, because when I have a relationship with a sponsor, they're not only a sponsor, they become actual friends. I mean, I'd love to have every single one of them down here. I'd love to show you what we do on day to day. I'd love for you to cast a hook and catch a fish for yourself and cook it over the fire. I'd love for you guys to peel that skin off the Mariah and taste our poor man's lobster. I wish I could just have every one of you down here. And I'm going to make that happen. You'll see. Once it's in here, it's going to come true. Anna comes down, she visits, and she goes through storms. We took her, it was so late at night after we finished hauling the kids. I'm telling you, she went through the dark in a boat, and she comes from Toronto. We drove her across, it was pure dark and raining, and she didn't complain at all. And then on the way back, we thought it was going to be a lot easier, soaking wet. The waves were just high, and she still says it was the best trip of her life sometimes. I don't know. I don't know how she handled that trip, but she did.
I knew I was in good hands, Rebecca. I had total faith. And yeah, that was an amazing experience. If anyone gets a chance to go to Turner Lake Birch Narrows, or even more so to the cabins, a fond memory for me is learning how to scale fish with a spoon. So simple, but so effective. It was one of the elders that shared that with me. And yeah, so just simple things like that, and being out with the community, the sense of community there was just astounding. I've never felt that before in my life. So a lot of appreciation for the work that Rebecca's doing, and the community there. I do have a question, but I know Julie's got her hand up, so I'll wait.
You can go first. Go ahead, Anna. You were talking.
Well, it was more yesterday, Rebecca, you were telling us about caribou and moose, and kind of the difference in how your community eats caribou and how you eat moose. It's kind of similar, but just the different experiences in how it affects you physically.
Our community is so used to eating the moose. We have it probably year round. Caribou is probably hunted only a couple times a year, and it's during this time now. Our men travel about 10 hours on Skidoo to go up to Cree Lake, and they bring back caribou. Caribou affects our stomachs a lot. I don't know, it makes us kind of sick if we eat too much of it. The nutrition of value in it, the nutrients, I don't know, it just does something. We can't eat a whole bunch of it, but we usually mix it in our meals because it has so much protein in it that it's probably healthier than the moose. I can't say that it is, but to us, I know it has a lot of vitamins, and I know in Wollaston, that's all they live off of is caribou, but I think that's why they live to be 100 and some years old up there.
Thanks. Julie, you got a question?
Yeah. So I have the pleasure of working with Rebecca kind of regularly, and I've learned a whole bunch about the community food center. But one thing I'm curious about, and I know it's a huge project upcoming for the food center, Rebecca, is the new building that you're gonna make happen, because you will, because you're determined. But I was wondering if you could share a little bit about like the process of moving to a new building, the transition to moving it onto res, and what that will make possible or make challenging moving that the politics or realities of like Turner Lake, Birch Narrows having different jurisdictions, I guess federally, has been an ongoing thing for the food center. And anyway, I just wondered if you would talk a little bit about that new building, and you know, the campaign I'm imagining you'll have to do for that, and also what that new building will enable for the community.
Well, right now we're in a building where we face so many challenges. Every year our water freezes, or our sewer freezes, or something happens. And unfortunately, we have our 2 employees, they pay a lot of money in taxes, and they're losing probably a third of their checks to taxes. So we decided we're going to give back the building to the hamlet. It's the only building they have to use to fundraise for themselves. We want to start brand new again. And speaking with chief and council, they agreed that we'll try help you. They're going to give us this new building, and they're going to sign a 100-year lease. I've never heard about that before. which means that we're going to have this building for 100 years and we can have the land for 100 years. And we're going to take that building, we're going to renovate it. This means that all the money that we get from sponsors like Makeway and sponsors like Lawson, we don't have to pay that in taxes anymore. We're losing a lot of funding because we have to pay taxes on all the stuff we get. We have to pay taxes on our food that we get. We have to pay taxes on our equipment. We have to pay taxes. For instance, we're going to buy 2 skidoos, and that's going to cost, what did he say? About $4,000 in taxes. And that has to come out of the programs, because where are we going to get that $4,000 from? Moving on to reserves, we don't have to pay that anymore. It's going to be shipped to the reserve, which will eliminate all those taxes. That means all that program money can stay where it's supposed to in the programs. The land on the reserve, the water system is unfortunately better than the Hamlet side. The Hamlet cannot afford a lot of the upkeep of the water system on their side. But the band has the equipment to make sure that our water is constantly flowing, and they will come and fix it if anything, which is a partnership between us. As for the politics, our chief has always promised that he doesn't want to be a part of this. He has too much to do himself, and he said, "You're a better cook than I am, so you stay where you are, Rebecca." So just a part of that is just to make sure that I want better for our employees too. I always worry about them because the taxes that we have to do, we have to take from them. Their status, but we still have to deduct the taxes. I think that's the big part of moving on to the reserve. And the freedom, because we have to do everything with the Saskatchewan law when we're on the Hamlet. We have to tell them, well, we're going to bring in a moose, we got it tested. We kind of don't do that because they don't have to know sometimes that we're bringing a moose into our building. It's not going to stay there very long. We're not going to store it there. They just take it home. But it's just the laws around everything, like the moose, the caribou, they have to be treated this way. You have to fix fish this way. It's just every single thing is watched over on that side. A little more lenient on the reserve side. We trust our elders know what they're doing. They've been fixing this fish for their lifetime, so I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. I'll introduce you to my son real quick here. I think he just climbed out of bed. This is my boy, John. It's his birthday today. Say hi, John.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
They said happy birthday. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Julie. Barb left a comment. Thank you, Rebecca. Remembering when my Kukun would say Asham, meaning feed her. And then she says she loves Mariah too. Yum. Barb knows what you're talking about with the Mariah.
Yeah, the poor man's lobster. Yep. Right now they're gonna be looking for the muskrats. So muskrats. I remember growing up, we lived on muskrats probably for a good couple weeks because we couldn't afford food. My dad was struggling with school and to become a teacher. And I never forget, we ate muskrat baked and fried and boiled and over the fire every single way you can cook a muskrat. And I used to never want to eat it again. I swore when I grew up I was never going to eat a muskrat again, but it's delicious.
I remember hearing once that muskrat soup was good for colds or the flu or something.
That's the rat root.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the rat root. Yep. We have piles and piles of that. They'll be doing that probably by fall time. They'll start looking for the rat roots. That's when our kids just wade in the water up to their stomachs and they dig in the water and they dig out these big plants and take the rat root off. My husband, he's from Clearwater Dene Nation, and I remember my dad used to always say, I think you married a berry picker. Little did he know by my husband was going to learn fast, and now he's all over the land hunting for our kids and hunting for our center, hunting for me. Well, he hunted for me. He found me, I guess, but he's a major part of my life, and he's amazing. He brings laughter into my life every single day. If you get to spend time with my husband, you'll know what I'm talking about. Another thing I wanted to tell you about just before we stop here is all of our little communities. I noticed something when I'm applying for grants is and when I'm doing my reporting, talking to our accountant, they're doing when we do our year-end financial statements. Something comes up every single year is Rebecca, we need to know how many people are your family. I don't know how to report that because every single one of our little communities is our family. We're all related in some way or another. And trying to explain that to a big accountant agency is trying to do a bloodline. I don't know how to do it. And the reporting part is probably the hardest part when we have to do that. Like this person's my second cousin, fourth cousin. Everybody is related in our communities. The reporting part is getting pretty easy. I'm so glad to say that a lot of people are seeing that let them do what they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. We don't need that big financial report. We don't need all of that stuff because they've been doing this all their life. So just let them be. And I love that part of a lot of organizations now is we don't have to do that little minimizing reporting on this few cents that you spent on this. And it's I've noticed that since 2017 it's changing a lot.
Yeah, a lot of
you
sorry.
guys surprised me this year. I did
Oh,
not
yeah?
expect that. I almost got a heart attack. I'm telling you. I was thinking, well, we applied for some funding, and I was thinking we were talking to Julie. I think I talked to Julie a couple times, to Anna. Where are we going to find long-term funding? You know, like it's tiring looking for funding when you get a little bit here, 5,000 there, a little bit here. You have to keep going to all these places to make sure that you have enough funding to keep your programs going, to keep your employees. And oh my gosh, I could not believe it when you came back and said, we're funding you for 3 years. Oh, I had to call Anna right away and tell her. Yeah. I just want to thank you guys for that. You guys made my life. I could breathe a little easier now. And Brianne, and to tell her that she has this for 3 years, she doesn't have to worry about going anywhere. She loves her job so much. And our elders, yesterday I went in there and there was caribou meat over there, there's sewing over there, there's baking over there. I mean, I don't know how they do it. You know, they're fixing meat over here, they'll bag what they want, then they'll go bake something, put it in the oven, then they'll go finish their blanket they're doing. They just all day long they'll sit there, and we're supposed to close at 4. They always try to keep it open till 6. Our poor little elders worker has to sit there. They just don't want to leave.
That's awesome. Yeah, super happy to have made this connection with you for sure, and for you to share with us today, and looking forward to the next 3 years for sure, connecting and bringing you together with other people and all that. So
a lot more pictures, a lot more stories coming.
yeah,
awesome.
awesome.
you gotta come join us, Jeff. Come fish.
Sure.
And come be on one of our camps.
I'll try some Mariah for sure.
Mm-hmm. we'll let you peel it.
Okay.
We tried to get Nick down here, but Nick, oh my gosh, it's like I don't know when that guy's ever gonna come. So busy, that guy.
Right on.
Well, I have to get going. I have to go to a funeral here, so I'm sorry to let everybody go real quick. I mean,
our condolences for your community and the families and everybody. It's tough.
Yeah, my chief is taking it rough right now. That's his mother. So
Sorry to hear. Okay, well, on that note, thank you again for joining us and sharing with everyone, and thank everyone for joining us and participating and listening and watching. And we'll see you next time.
take care, everybody. And remember, just email me if you need to know how to skin a rabbit or pluck a duck or something. You can call me. Okay? Yeah.
Okay. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 I'm gonna go look for some Mariah.
All right.
Bye. Bye, Jeff.